Hello everyone, welcome to the course on operating systems. In this session, we are going to discuss about the functions of operating systems. If we see the definition of operating system, it is a software that acts as an interface between the user of a computer and the underlying hardware. And there are two types of softwares. One is system software and the other one is application software. And basically, system software provides the application programs to run, so it typically interacts with the hardware and provides a platform for the applications to run. And the examples of system software include operating system, device drivers, linkers, loaders, assemblers, etc. On the other hand, application software is a set of programs that are designed to perform a specific task. For example, the VLC media player or the browser or the Word, MS Office, all these softwares come under the category of application software. An operating system is a system software, and the design goals of an operating system include efficiency and convenience. That means we have to make sure that the operating system that is being designed will be making use of the available hardware resources more efficiently. And at the same time, it has to provide more convenience to the users in order to use the computer system. So these two are the design goals of the operating system. So in order to meet these design goals, operating system has to perform so many functions. And let us see what are those functions in this session. And I have divided the functions of the operating systems into three categories. One is the management related functions. So operating system is considered as a very good manager. And these are the different management activities that are being performed with the operating system. And another category is how the operating system provides the user interaction with the computer system and to the outside world. And the third category of functions include the security and maintenance. Under management functions, we have the resource management, memory management, file management, device management, and process management. Under user interaction, we have the functionalities including the user interface, networking, system calls, time sharing. Under security and maintenance category, we have the security, job accounting, error detection, backup and recovery, updates and maintenance, and performance monitoring. Let us see these functionalities one after the other. The first category is the management functions, in which we have the resource management. In the computer science technology, the computing resources include the CPU, memory, and I/O devices. So operating system is responsible for managing and allocating these computing resources to various processes. Remember, process is a program that is under execution. So whenever multiple processes are running in the main memory, it is the responsibility of the operating system to allocate the resources to the currently running processes. And the next functionality is memory management. So we have different types of memory, including the cache memory, main memory or RAM, and also the hard disk. So operating system provides mechanisms for optimizing the usage of the memory by the programs that are currently running. So it includes functionalities like memory allocation, deallocation, protection, and also virtual memory. So whenever a process requires memory, operating system should allocate memory, and when a process is executed, that means its execution is completed, whatever the memory that is being allocated to the process has to be deallocated. And also the protection mechanisms include whether a process can read from certain part of the memory region, or it can write into certain memory region. Those comes under the category of memory protection. And the next one is virtual memory, wherein the operating system enables the process to use the entire hard disk as if it is available as the RAM. So this we again in detail will discuss in the topic of memory management separately. The next functionality is file management. So operating system is responsible for creating and deleting of files and also file IO operations. That means the read and write operations from the files, and also the file access permissions, whether a file is made as only read only or any user is allowed to write into the file. Those file permissions are controlled by the operating system. Next is device management. So for a computer, there are many input and output devices that are connected, which includes the keyboard, keyboard, mouse, and printer, and so many other IO devices. So it is the responsibility of the operating system in order to make use of these IO devices that are connected to the computer. So which are possible, the usage of the keyboard or the printer is possible only if the computer is having the corresponding device driver software. So operating system enables us to use these IO devices that are connected to the computer. And the IO management, in order to coordinate the activities between several input and output devices that are connected to the computer, IO management is required. Next functionality under management, which is the last function, is the process management. We all know that a program under execution is called as a process. So it is the responsibility of the operating system in order to start, stop, and schedule the process, and which includes the allocation and deallocation of the computing resources to the process. That these functions comes under the category of process management. And the next set of functions that comes under the category of user interaction are the user interface. First of all, in order to interact with the computer, we as users need some kind of user interface. So basically the user interface in a computer system can be of two categories, GUI and CLI. GUI stands for graphical user interface and CLI stands for command line interface. And some of the applications will be providing both GUI as well as CLI. So basically user interface includes either the graphical user interface or the command line interface or a combination. So if you look at the Windows operating system, it provides a GUI in order to open a file or to create a file, or for moving the files from one folder to another folder, there is a GUI provided. Similarly, for opening the browser and for performing various tasks in the browser, also we need the GUI. So command line interface is for the users which are familiar with giving the commands to the operating system. So it takes commands so that the user can interact with the computer system. On the other hand, GUI, we need not know any commands. Any layman can use the computer by using the graphical user interface. And the next functionality is networking. So nowadays we are using internet. So our computer from where we are accessing the internet should be able to connect to the network. So operating system provides the capabilities for establishing and managing network connections and also for sharing of resources over the network. For example, if you look at the example of a printer which is shared by multiple computers is an example of sharing of resources over a network. Then comes the system calls, and system calls are used by the applications in order to request services from the operating system. So by using the system calls, it enables applications to interact with the operating system and access its resources. So no matter what kind of computer system you are using, if you have the idea of using the system calls, then your program or your application can run on any platform or it can run on any machine. So basically system calls provide the compatibility for the applications to run across different hardware and software platforms. And the next category of function that comes under the category of user interaction is time sharing. So this time sharing feature of the operating system allows multiple users to share one single computer system by multiple users and access the resources of the computer system simultaneously. So if you look at the Windows operating system, it allows multiple users to log in, and also each user will be able to perform multiple tasks. The next set of functions comes under the category of performance and maintenance, and also which we can call it as efficiency related functions. So here in the beginning we have the security. So operating system provides a secure environment for the user, applications, and also for the data by using authentication. So whenever we try to use a computer, it will ask for the login and password. So that is an example of authentication. And similarly, access control. That means what are the permissions that are given for a specific user can be called as access control. And also the data encryption. So these three mechanisms are used by the operating system in order to provide the secure environment, which includes the user authentication, access control, and encryption. The next function is job accounting. So operating system maintains a log of all users, because in case of multi-user environment where multiple users will be using the computer system, a log will be maintained for each of the users, and also operating system keeps track of the activities and also the resources used by various users of the computer. Next one is error detection. So during the execution of applications, there can be different types of errors, which may include hardware or software errors. For example, if you give some print command and if the printer is not connected, it gives an error called as printer not ready. So operating system is responsible for detecting and reporting the type of errors, whether it is a hardware error or software error, and also it attempts to recover from errors by the corresponding reporting mechanism. Next function is backup and recovery. So data backup is one of the functions of the operating system, and which is responsible for creating copies of important data, and it allows for system recovery in case of failure. So let us say whatever the system that we are using currently, if it fails, so in such a case you can either take the backup of the files, and you can install the operating system once again. That is the manual way of taking the backup and recovery. And in addition, we can also we can set the system to a back date or 1 week before, whatever the state of the system that will be retained if you attempt to recover the system from failure. Next is update and maintenance. So no matter what kind of operating system you are using, operating systems regularly receive updates and patches in order to fix security vulnerabilities. And so in these days, there are so many types of malwares that are coming up, and whenever a new malware comes up, the operating system will be added with a new patch or update, and as users we have to install the updates. Only then our system will be secure against the newly approaching malwares. And the last function under performance monitoring is under efficiency is performance monitoring. So operating system monitors what are the applications that are currently running, or what are the processes that are currently running, and also it monitors what are the resources that are being used by each of these processes. So it monitors the resource usage of the process, and it necessarily makes adjustments in terms of the usage of the resources by the process in order to optimize the performance of the system. So basically, these are the functions of the operating system, which have been divided into 3 categories: management functions, the user interaction functions, and the functions related to performance and efficiency. So with this, we came to the end of this session, and we'll meet again in the next lecture. Thank you.